Good morning, everybody. Okay. Good morning, everybody. I see your mics is off. It's fine. I will give everybody an opportunity to switch on their mics when they introduce themselves. Notice is hereby given for a Municipal Planning Tribunal meeting that is being held. It's a virtual meeting. We have Municipal Planning Tribunal members present of Cape Agulhas Municipality. The meeting is held on Tuesday, the 2nd of June, 2020. It's starting at 12 o'clock. The members of the Municipal Planning Tribunal is Mr. Dean O'Neill, the Municipal Manager, who's the Chair. It's a virtual meeting. Myself, Abdulaziz Jacobs, is the Director of Infrastructure Services. Mr. Hendrik Kroon is the Director of Management Services. Mr. Francois Kotze, Overberg District Municipality, and Mr. Jeremy Benjamin from the Department of Environmental Affairs, Western Cape Government. And then we also have officials, Ms. Tracy Stone, Divisional Head, Strategic Services Planning and Administration, Mr. Donald October, Town Planner, Mr. Abraham Teron, Town Planner, and Ms. Doreen Onke, who is the Town Planning Officer, and Carmen Dietrich, who is replaced with Marius Mulich today. So notice hereby given of a Municipal Planning Tribunal virtual meeting of the Cape Agulhas Municipality to be held on Tuesday, 2nd of June 2020 at 12 o'clock to discuss the undermentioned agenda. Today, I'd like, as the chairperson, Mr. Dean O'Neill is not available, so he's delegated myself to chair the Municipal Planning Tribunal proceedings today, myself, Abdulaziz Jacobs. And we'd like to welcome everybody. Today is a special day for Cape Agulhas Municipality for the Planning Tribunal. Today is our first live streaming on YouTube. So we welcome the public. We welcome all those residents who are streaming in today. We welcome everybody, and you will be able to witness the proceedings and the decisions that will be taken today in the Municipal Planning Tribunal. So I'm going to point 1, which is the welcome. I'm just going to ask, Jeremy, can you see the agenda, or can you not see the agenda yet? Jeremy? Your mic is off, Jeremy. Can you? Are you sharing the agenda on the? Okay, I'm going to share the agenda now. I'm going to share the agenda. I'm going to, at this point in time, I'm going to ask the colleagues in alphabetical order. If you see on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see the participants, you'll see view participants, and you'll see in alphabetical order the members that are present today's meeting. I just want you to test your microphones. I will give you in alphabetical order. It's myself. I've tested my mic. Abraham Teron, then Donald October. Is Doreen in the meeting? I don't see Doreen's visual, but it's fine. Then Hendrik, and then Jeremy, Tracy, Willem. Can I just ask Marius, who is the administrator of the meeting? Marius, do we have Francois Kotze of the ODM municipality? Is he around?
No, at this stage, not yet.
Okay.
I think he will come in at the later stage. I hope so.
Okay, no, that's fine. So at this point in time, we've welcomed the public, and we're going to ask the members of the tribunal just to introduce themselves, starting in alphabetical order. Abram?
Abraham Teron from the Town Planning Department.
The next alphabetical order one is Donald October.
Hi, Donald October here, also from the Town Planning Department, Cape Agulhas Municipality.
Doreen? Is Doreen October in?
No.
Doreen Onke? Can you put your mic on, Doreen, please? Okay, she's listening in. That's fine. She's an administrator, town planning official, administrator. Hendrik?
Goeiemôre almal. Ek is Hendrik Kroon. Ek is direkteur bestuursdienste.
Jeremy?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jeremy Benjamin, and I'm an external member of the Cape Agulhas Municipal Planning Tribunal, and I'm working for the Department of Environmental Affairs and Development Planning.
Thank you, Jeremy. Tracy?
Good morning, everyone. Tracy Stone, Division Head, Strategic Services and Planning.
Jeremy, can I request you to put your mic off, please? Thank you. Willem van Zyl I don't think he's going to introduce himself. Willem van Zyl is our IT Chief Information Officer, so he is facilitating the live streaming for us. And then Marius Mulich.
Mulich, admin support officers, committees. I will take minutes.
Thank you for that, Marius. At this point in time, I'm going to stop sharing the agenda. I'm just going to go through the purpose of the Municipal Planning Tribunal. And this is for the purpose of sharing. The purpose of the Municipal Planning Tribunal is for the residents of Cape Agulhas and for all interested and affected stakeholders that is viewing this live streaming, so that they know what the mandate of the Municipal Planning Tribunal is, and also they will have an understanding of the proceedings of this planning tribunal. At this point in time, I'm going to switch my camera off. I'll leave my microphone on. I'm just going to take the public through, and also the members as well, through the purpose of the meeting. So in local government, the town planning department takes care of all requests and applications for subdivision, rezoning, and also relaxation of conditions of the building conditions. So what happens is, if it is a normal application, just a normal residential application, and it's not a complex matter, then it gets done internally by the town planning department. If it is a really complex matter and it needs to have a diverse view of experts that looks at the application, or for example, it is one that affects land and property that is owned by the municipality, then it will be escalated to the Municipal Planning Tribunal. And all the members of the Municipal Planning Tribunal is delegated by the municipal manager to serve on the Planning Tribunal. Today's streaming, I'd like to just take 1 minute and say why we as a municipality embark on live streaming and also opening up the Municipal Planning Tribunal for members of the public to attend. It is part of the local government transformation. The basis for transformation in local government is set by Section 152 of the Constitution of South Africa. And the stated objectives is being a democratic and an accountable government, ensuring provision of services to communities in a sustainable manner, promoting social and economic development and safe and healthy environments, and encouraging the involvement of local communities. And when we stream and we open the Municipal Planning Tribunal for members of the public to attend, it allows them also to be involved in the matters of local government. So we allow the public to sit in. The public is not, at this point in time, after we've gone through public consultation processes in the application, the public can view the proceedings of the Municipal Planning Tribunal. At this point in time, the public cannot affect or influence the decision of the Municipal Planning Tribunal, and that is the purpose, is to make an independent, unbiased decision. Okay, so I've now mentioned that this is part of transparency. Today, for us, it's part of our transparency for Cape Agulhas municipality to include our civilian population into the affairs of local government. I also want to say that we are governed, the Municipal Planning Tribunal is governed by the SPLUMA Act, the Spatial Planning and Land Use Management Act of 2013, and the Western Cape Land Use Planning Act, the LUPA Act of 2014. And so in Chapter 6 of SPLUMA, it says that every municipality should establish a municipal planning tribunal in order to determine land use and development application within its municipal area. Certain land use applications may be considered and determined by an official or officials in the employ of the municipality. And then also development applications must be categorized into those which may be considered by an official and those which must be referred to the MPT, the Municipal Planning Tribunal. Now, I've highlighted which complex matters gets escalated to the Municipal Planning Tribunal, and especially when it involves council land. Okay, so the composition of the tribunal, it says in terms of section 36(1) of SPLUMA, the Municipal Planning Tribunal must consist of officials in the full-time service of the municipality. As you've seen, the Director of Community Services is on this panel as a delegated official, myself as the Director of Infrastructure Services, Tracy, the Strategic Head of Strategy, and also we have non-officials, which is Jeremy from the Department of Environmental Affairs and Development Planning, and also Francois Kotze from the ODM municipality. And it says that these officials, all the officials, should be knowledgeable and have experience in spatial planning, land use management, and land development, or the law related thereto. It says councillors are specifically prohibited from being appointed as members of the MPT. The members of the tribunal must be appointed by the municipal council, and the council must also designate a chairperson. A tribunal must consist of at least 5 members, but it may designate at least 3 members, of which 1 or more must be a non-official to hear a matter. So we have today, we have a quorum today, and I've mentioned we have Hendrik, which is an official. We have Tracy, which is an official. Myself as an official, as members of the Planning Tribunal, and then we've also have an external party, which is Jeremy, and I see Francois Kotze. I'm going to ask Francois, I see Francois has joined the meeting. Can I please ask Francois Kotze to put on his microphone and introduce himself?
Good afternoon, everybody. My apologies for being late. I had some technical difficulties with the link for this streaming event. But yes, I'm Francois Kotze from the Overberg District Municipality, and yeah, member of this tribunal. Thank you.
Welcome, Francois. Thank you very much. So yes, so we've now, just for the purpose of the public, we've given some clarification, some clarity on the purpose of the tribunal, what do we consider, and what laws we are governed by that when it comes to decision making. Before I move on to the rest of the agenda, I just want to, for the public and also for all members and officials that is present in today's meeting, I would just like to say when we make a decision, what do we consider? So when considering applications, the Municipal Planning Tribunal must be guided by the following development principles in Chapter 2 of SPLUMA and Chapter 6 of LUPA. These are spatial justice, spatial sustainability, the principle of efficiency, the principle of spatial resilience, and the principle of good administration. Now, for the purpose of this live streaming today, I've gone through the principles of decision-making and what constitutes a municipal planning tribunal. And it's also, it allows the public to see when we apply our mind, how we reach the decision, what is the processes, what are the due diligence and the due processes that we follow. All of our decisions must be consistent with national and provincial policies at municipal level, the IDP, Spatial Development Framework. If all our decisions should be in line with our IDP, district and local plans, social, economic, housing, transport, engineering policies and strategies. It says all decisions of the Municipal Planning Tribunal must be compliant with environmental legislation. Also, it says that the Municipal Planning Tribunal must determine whether an application is desirable. And that is the end point of, we are hearing 3 points today that is presented by the Town Planning Department. We will look if the application is desirable, and in doing so, the following issues are relevant. And I think it's pertinent to mention. We will look at the economic impact. We look at the social impact. We look at the scale of capital investment, the compatibility with surrounding uses, the impact on external engineering services, the impact on safety, health, and well-being of the surrounding community, impact on heritage, impact on the biophysical environment, traffic impacts, parking access, etc. Can negative impacts be mitigated? All of these criteria are open to interpretation and require exercise of judgment. Hence, we have a multidisciplinary panel in deciding on a matter. The MPT may impose reasonable conditions to ensure that there are positive outcomes arising from its decisions. So at this point in time, we are going to move on to the agenda. All I want to say to the viewing public, when we make a decision, as a mandate of local government, what is the mandate of local government? All of the decisions that we take as government is to ensure that the decisions we make is in the interest of the public good. So without any further ado, I will share my screen and I will flight the agenda for today for everybody to see the agenda. And at this point in time, everybody, including the general public on YouTube, should be able to see the agenda on the screen as well. Okay, so we've gone through the welcome. I've welcomed everybody. We've gone through the apologies. We've apologized for Mr. O'Neill that had another commitment today. And we will go through the approval of the minutes. The agenda point number 3 is the approval of the minutes. I will go through the minutes very quickly, very briefly, and we'll accept the minutes. And then there are 4 items for discussion. It's 4.1, application for subdivision and departure of Earth 374 Varneskrans. It's in Ward 6. It's in the agenda, which I will share with everybody present today. Is from page 9 to 56. The second point for deliberation will be the rezoning subdivision, closure of portion of Punt Street, adjoining Earth 305, consolidation of the portion with Earth 305. The Gullis, it's in Ward 5. It's attached in the agenda, which you see right in front of you, from page 57 to 123. And then point 4.3 is the third point for deliberation, is the application for rezoning, subdivision and departure of Earth 513 in Napier, which is in Ward 1. And it is from pages attached on pages 124 to 164. So at this point in time, I will just go through the minutes, the previous minutes. And the meeting was held on the 9th of December 2019. It was a physical meeting. All members were present. This is the first page of the minutes. I'm going to ask the members of the tribunal just to skim through the minutes and note if all is correct, and through a reflection of the minutes. The members present were Mr. O'Neill, Mr. Jacobs, Mr. Kroon, Mr. Kutzer, Mr. Benjamin, Mr. Hayward, who is no longer in the services of the municipality, Abraham Teron, and also Mr. Mulich, who was in charge of the minutes of the meeting. Chairperson welcomed everybody. There was apologies from Ms. Stone. The previous minutes was in 20th of November 2019. That minutes was noted and approved. 4.1, proposed rezoning and departure of Earth 850. It was the recommendation was it was desirable. It was found to be desirable. There's a recommendation. There was conditions of approval for that Earth 850. Stormwater cleansing and purification. And the decision for MPT 14/2019 was that the recommendations be accepted as a decision of the tribunal. That one was considered desirable. 4.2, special consent of 854 Dunkirk Street, Straysby, Ward 6. And moving on to the next page. Going to the recommendation. And that one was also accepted by as a decision of the tribunal, and the meeting was closed. So there was only 2 points. I'm going to ask, can we have somebody to accept that minutes as true and correct? Okay, we have JB, Jeremy Benjamin accepts. Can we have somebody to second that minutes for us? Francois Kutzer, thank you. Okay, so that deals with the minutes of the previous meeting. At this point in time, I'm going to keep the screen open, and we will move on to point 4.1 of today's proceedings. It is application for subdivision and departure of 374 Varneskrans. The purpose of the report, the evaluation of the above-mentioned application in terms of the Cape Agulhas bylaw on municipal land use planning 2015. There's the motivation, there's annexures A, B, and C, the motivation and application form to council, locality plan, subdivisional plan. The owner of the land is the Cape Agulhas municipality. It is situated in Arniston. It is, I'll just give some background of it. It is the specific piece of land, Earth 374. For those who know Arniston, there is a library in Camp Street, a library and a clinic that is situated in Camp Street, which is municipal buildings. And there is a vacant piece of land, an extensive piece of land next to Earth 374. And the application has been tabled to the town planning department and they prepared the application. I'm going to ask the town planning department to take us through the application. Can I just get a show of hands quickly from Abram or Donald, who is going to take us through? Jeremy, can you please lower your hand after accepting the minutes? Thank you.
I just want to ask that
yes.
You could maybe just remove the pane on the right hand side to increase the text. On the right you have the export that if you can maybe just take that away.
This one here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to make it a bit larger.
Okay, can you see? Thank you. Thank you for that, Jeremy. Abram, okay, so Donald will take us through the, Donald has indicated that Donald will take us through the agenda. Donald, what is going to happen now is I'm going to give you control of my screen of the agenda so that you can take us through the point until the recommendation, and I will take the planning tribunal through the management recommendation. Donald October, over to you. Donald, is your mic on, Donald?
Thanks, Chair. Yes, my mic is on. I'm just looking at taking control of the relevant document that is on the screen.
Hello.
I seem to be not having any control here. So can you just quickly, as I go through the points, can you just maybe scroll it down for me? Thank you, sir. Good, thank you. Thanks, Mr. Chair. As previously mentioned, we received from the town planning side an application for subdivision and departure regarding Earth 374 in Varnieskrans. And also, as mentioned, the site is already occupied by a clinic and a library, which is currently zoned as civic and social. So whereby we received an application for a subdivision and a departure of the building lines. The public participation process started at the 27th of October 2019. We circulated the application to all the relevant departments within the municipality, also externally, and was also circulated to the surrounding neighbors. During the public participation process, we received no objections regarding this application. If we go to the next page, yeah, this is just a summary of the comments during the public participation from the municipal departments and the government institutions. It was just general comments that was received, but no negative comments or objections were received.
Okay, I'm going to scroll through it. Yeah, I'm going to scroll through it. Yeah.
Thanks, Chair.
Okay, so take us to the motivation.
Okay, point 7, motivation. It conforms to, if we look at specifically the Cape Agulhas Spatial Development Framework, we can see in the second paragraph on 7.1.2, I'm just taking you through it quickly. As far as policy is concerned, the proposal is in line with the Cape Agulhas Municipal SDF, that it contributes to the integration and identification of an area within the urban edge. And the particular earth will be used to its full potential as far as zoning is concerned. And I also mentioned that the current zoning of this earth is already civic and social. So it will be utilized within the same zoning parameters.
Okay.
And it is also occupied by the clinic and the library. Yeah. You can go on.
Okay.
As far as legislation is concerned, SPLUMA, it conforms to all principles regarding the SPLUMA and LUPA principles, whereas you also mentioned the 5 principles. The spatial justice, spatial sustainability, efficiency, resilience, and good administration.
Okay.
For us and the general public, the municipality within that guidelines and principle conforms to everything.
Okay, noted. We have also received no objections.
No objections, sir.
Okay.
If we look on page 22,
yes,
the summary of evaluation, I will just take to the 4 points that is mentioned. We noted, and as we went through the application from the town planning side, we found that development desirable because it is in line with all the relevant policies, and it's also within the urban edge of the specific town of Waniskrans. And also the development of a church on the premises already will not give impact negatively on the surrounding areas, which is already of a mixed use, whereas it is residential of nature and also civic and social, where there is a clinic and a library, which services the community. And also it will be easily accessible to the immediate community that will attend the church. Also, it is said that the subject property is within the urban edge, and so the agricultural landscaping on the outer borders will not be infringed upon. Okay. And also from a social aspect, it is also in the public interest to look at the social aspect from a development side, and it will also see that it is not being influenced on a negative basis. So I will give you the recommendation back to you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Everybody can hear me? Okay, in view of the above, it is recommended, point number 10, the following application made in terms of section 15 of the Cape Agulhas Municipal Land Use Planning Bylaw 2015 be approved. Subdivision of Earth 374 Waniskrans Arneson in terms of section 15 of the Cape Agulhas Bylaw on Municipal Land Use Planning 2015 into portion A, it's plus minus 800 square meters that will be subdivided for church purposes, and the remainder plus minus 1538 for the development of a church. Departure on proposed portion A in terms of section 15 of the Cape Agulhas Bylaw on Municipal Land Use Planning 2015 in order to provide 2-meter side and rear building lines and 4.5-meter street building line. Okay, the reasons for the recommendation, the reasons is the proposed development is found to be desirable due to its consistency with all local and provincial spatial planning policies, which I've mentioned previously, including prioritized investment indication in the IDP. Proposed development supports the principles as stipulated in Chapter 4 of LUPA, which is in line with the principles of SPLUMA. The application process is SPIRE compliant and the objections received have been sufficient. There's no objections has been received. No potential negative impacts could be identified as a result of the proposed development for a subdivisional area. The application is promoting social upliftment in the town, which will benefit the general public. No basic environmental assessment will be issued due to the fact that no regulations will be triggered. And the lastly, 11.7, the property in question is situated within an established area and is in line with the Cape Agulhas Spatial Development Framework and the principles within the document. There are conditions for approval that are stipulated below. The property be valued and taxed accordingly. The land use restrictions in terms of the Cape Agulhas Integrated Zoning Scheme be complied with. The main portion of 374 shall be used for civic and social purpose, zone purpose. I just want to, for the administrators, I see there is a numbering, Marius, if you can just be with me quickly. I see there is a numbering defect on the left-hand side. You'll see the A, B, C, then A, B, C, D, E, F. Can we just get, when the minutes is populated, that these points be alphabetically chronological? Can we have the first one is A, B, C, D. Building division will be E, F, G, H as such. I can see there is a repetition of A, B, C. Marius, can I just get confirmation that you got that?
Yes, I've got that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so building plans needs to be submitted to council for consideration. I'm going through the building division. All advertising or tourism signs to be according to council specifications. On premises advertising signs or similar notice of any kind shall be made solely in accordance with the council's policy. Public facilities for disabled people be provided. In general services, the applicant owner developer at his own expense be responsible for all internal and external services that may result from this application. The applicant owner developer to negotiate with the relevant adjoining owners if any servitude needs to be registered. An amendment to municipal infrastructure to be for the applicant's cost, including all connections and supervision costs. All service standards relating to development must meet the guidelines for the provision of engineering services. And the latest SABS 1200 series standard specifications. Infrastructure levies payable according to council's tariffs within the applicable financial year. Parking must be 5 by 2.5 meters in size and clearly defined and demarcated on site to the satisfaction of the council. Because it's within the council and there is no provincial requirement for that, parking will be according to the council's regulations. Vehicular access and egress as from Mert Street, Arniston is designated, and provision must be made for disabled parking. I will go through, there is only engineering and infrastructure related conditions, which are standard conditions for us. I'm going to ask the members of the tribunal, I'm going through, these are the attachments. I'm just going to quickly, before we move the motion, I'm going to go through the rest of the pages quickly. This is the attachment of the town planning application, is attached in the minutes. I'm moving further forward. Land use application form is attached. At this point in time, I'm going to ask the members of the tribunal if they have any comments. Only the members of the tribunal, not the officials, if they have any, and we'll ask the officials to clarify. Members of the tribunal, can I just, by a show of hands, see if there is any comments on this application that is tabled in front of you? Everybody does have a copy of the minutes. I'm sure the members of the tribunal have familiarized themselves with the 3 points under discussion for today. I'm just going to quickly just put on my screen. I just need to see who is raising their hands. I'm going to have to, Jeremy, sorry, I'm going to have to activate this so I can see. I see there's 2 hands. Donald October, is your hand still up, Donald? Or you want to put down your hand? On the side, I can see your hand is up. I see Jeremy's hand is up. Jeremy, I acknowledge you. I will give you the mic in a short while. I just want to go through the remainder before I take any comments. Okay, just for everybody's intents and purposes, there is this is Camp Street. I'm just showing you Camp Street, and that is Mert Street on that side. There's Camp Street. This one is Mert Street, and this is where the clinic and the clinic and the library is situated here. And this is the section that is considered for the church purposes. I'm going to just go through the bottom quickly, and let's see if there's any. Okay, so that is our function there. That's the first part of 374, and that is the section that is that we are discussing today. I think that is the end of that. Any comments on the? Okay, Jeremy, over to you. I'm giving you. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that we can see the remainder of. Let me just click on there quickly. I'm stop sharing my screen so I can see you. Jeremy, your hand is up. I see Francois Kotz's hand is up. Donald October, your hand is still up. Donald, is your hand up still? Donald, can you give me an indication? Remove your hand, please, Donald. I can see there your hand is up. Here's a function in the middle, just for the, okay, there we go. Thank you. Okay, Jeremy, over to you, Jeremy.
Yes, Abdul, my question is actually to Donald, just in terms of some clarity for myself. I actually wanted you to share the screen in terms of the subdivisional plan on page 57. I've noticed when you look at the application that was lodged, the application is obviously for a subdivision and departures from the building lines. And I see the remainder is 1,530 square meters. Is that the remainder, is that vacant currently? Was there buildings on there? My question relates to why 800 square meters? Why even they apply for more? Because obviously if they would ask for a bigger portion of land, they wouldn't have had to apply for departures from the building lines. Say they would have requested to buy 1,000 square meters from council, or how did they come on 800 square meters?
Hi, Jeremy, can you hear me? Okay, well, just to clarify that point that you raised, on the remainder of 374, that 1,530 square meters, that is where the clinic and the library already is. So they just asked for the remainder, which is 800, which came about to roughly 800 square meters. So that's why they asked for the relevant departures. I hope that answers your questions.
Okay, no, then it's fine. Because I thought if there's already existing buildings on the remainder and you can't increase portion A, then that is probably fine. No, that's all. Thank you.
Abdul, you are muted.
Okay, sorry about that. Thank you for that, Abram. Francois, I see your hand is up. Francois, can you put on your microphone if you'd like to pose a comment or a question?
Yes, thank you. Just for clarity from my side, I just want to find out the area will now be used for a place of worship. Will that be for the foreseen future and continue into perpetuity? I would hope and trust that it will remain for that purpose. If not, what will happen to the property? Are there any conditions linked to it?
Donald, over to you. Your microphone is off, Donald. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Well, the initial application was for church purposes, and that is within the civic and social zone, what is allowed as a primary use. I do not know if we can make it application specific, whereby we, in the conditions that we say the site or the proposed new subdivision site should only be used for a church. But as I said, within the primary uses of a civic and social zone, there is a number of other listed activities also that is within the primary uses of civic and social. So I don't know, I throw it back to the panel. Should we make it a specific condition within the conditions of approval, just for church purposes?
At this point, I'm going to just quickly intervene. I'm also aware of the fact that the church has approached the municipal council for the purchasing of the land for church purposes. So I think there'll be a transfer of. I'm sure there will be a transfer of. Once it's subdivided and the property will then be transferred to the church will be paying for the market related, as it has been indicated in the conditions, that the property will be valued at the relevant price, and transfer will take a title deed will be for the church's account. So if the church, there is no specific fallback clause that the property comes back to the municipality after X amount of years, or if the church does not want to use it any further, that if it does get disposed, it will be disposed through the normal due process. So there's no other binding condition that says that after usage of the land, that the land will revert back to the municipality, because the church will take ownership of the land. Can we just concur on that one? Abram from the Town Planning Department, that's correct as such? The transfer of the land will take place to the church.
Yeah, so they were the people who did the application. So if everything is approved then and subdivided and finalized, they will buy it from the council.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Francois? Francois, I see you still there. Your mic is on.
Thank
yes,
you.
go for it.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I'm happy with the response. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for the input and the comments. We're going to move on swiftly to the next point. Can we just first of all get somebody to accept that motion, and somebody to second that motion that the application is desirable? I will look on my side screen, and then I can see that who's put the hands up. Can we get a motion, first motion of the members of the tribunal? That's between Francois, Hendrik, Jeremy. Okay, I have a first hand, that is Francois Kotze, for Marius, for your purpose, and then also Jeremy Benjamin and Hendrik Kroon. Okay, so it will be Francois and Hendrik Kroon as a member of, duly delegated member of the Planning Tribunal. I'm going to, at this point in time, I just need a nod of heads. Can you still see my shared screen, which is the agenda? Okay. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next point. The next point is rezoning, subdivision, closure of portion of, this is point 4.2 of the agenda, rezoning, subdivision, closure of a portion of Punt Street, adjoining ERF 305, consolidation of the portion with ERF 305, Gullis L305, MTRP, Ward 5, and the evaluation of the above mentioned application in terms of the Cape Agulhas bylaw on municipal land use planning 2015, and the annexures that is in the application is the full application in itself, in its right, the locality plan, site plan, objections, environmental approval to determine an ad hoc developmental setback line, neighbors' consent for environmental process, applicant's response to objections. And then also the general information. So the owner of the said piece of land is wanting, let me just scroll up slightly. Oops, that's too much. So it is the piece of land that is under review. I will show the aerial photograph soon. It is municipal land, a small piece of land, municipal land. Let me just get the size is 137 square meters. That is under consideration. It's municipal land. It is adjoining of, let me just get the numbers right, of 305. Okay, so it is application. The owners are Cape Agulhas Municipality for the small piece of land that is under consideration. And then the owner of the adjoining land is Anton Brewer Family Trust. The applicant on behalf of the owner is Town and Country Creative Land Solutions, which is a town planning company, independent. And the urban is 305 and 574 Agulhas, Punt Street, Agulhas. Single resident, that is 305 is the Mr. Brewer's earth number, and the other earth 574 belongs to the municipality. It's for transport usage, and we will see the pictorial soon. Okay, so there's we have the background. I'm going through the background. The application consisted of the following: rezoning in terms of section 15 of the Cape Agulhas bylaw on municipal land use planning of portion A to single residential zone purposes, subdivision of a portion of Punt Street in terms of section 15 of the Cape Agulhas bylaw on municipal land use planning to create portion A, which is 137 square meters in extent, and the remainder consolidation of portion A with earth 305 legalis to create a total earth size of plus minus 851 square meters in terms of section 15 of the Cape Agulhas bylaw on municipal land use planning. Closure of public place or part thereof in terms of section 15 of the Cape Agulhas bylaw. The application is point number 5, public participation. I'm going to go through it, introducing the point, and I will ask the town planning department again to take us through the detail of the application. So the application was advertised in the press on the 1st of November 2019. The registered letters were also circulated to surrounding neighbours, Cape Agulhas Business Chambers, Punt Ratepayers Association, and Breda Goudes Catchment Management Agency. There were numerous objections for the information of the panel, the Municipal Planning Tribunal panel, the members of the panel, bona fide members of the panel. Multiple objections were received and they were addressed accordingly. At this point in time, I'm going to ask Donald again I will scroll on Donald's behalf and Donald will take us through the objections. Let me just observe here quickly. Donald, you can see you have the agenda in front of you. You're going to take us through the objections. All the objections were addressed, but you can just take us briefly through the objections and highlight anything that is significant for us, please, Donald. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As also been said in the introduction, it is an application for a rezoning and a subdivision and a consolidation and a closure of a public place. Now, this is a very unique application whereby it involves a piece of municipal road, which is transport usage as it's zoned. But as I'm going through to the objections, I will just highlight a couple of points that stood out for me and also the town planning department. The point 1 was that the objectors said that the land is public land and is located within an environmental sensitive area and may not be sold off. The applicant in question did, however, before a town planning process was done, receive authorization that no EIA is needed for the subject property. So that is also a plus point in this application. And that the specific portion of land that he wishes to acquire falls well within or at the back of a setback line along the coast. And then also the subject of the road. Yes, it is a transport usage, but that little piece of land that he wishes to acquire, which is transport usage, that road has not been formalized by the municipality.
Donald?
Yeah.
Can I just ask you just to go to the aerial view, the specific, so that the members of the planning tribunal, besides the details, so they can see what is how the piece of land looks that we are discussing. Can you just give me an indication which page that is on?
Yes, sir, that will be well. Then I'll just take you through the application. It's page 104. Page 104.
I'm going to go through it quickly. Maybe
a detailed view of a.
Okay, 104. I'll just go to 104 quickly. Almost there. 104. There we go. Is this one?
Yeah, just move a little bit.
There we go. There we go. Okay, is that good enough?
104, so just
another one down. Sorry.
Another one down.
There we go. Okay, there we go.
I see one of the panel members have their hand up.
Okay, I will just Francois, you have to put your mic on, Francois. We will take your comment if you have a comment, question.
Yes, sorry for the interruption. Just for correction, and I think it's necessary just to point this out. Donald mentioned before that authorization was received, but if you look at page 115 of the bundle, point number 7, and that is the response from the Western Cape government. Point number 7, that letter, page 115, is considering that the listed activity will be undertaken behind the above mentioned development setback line. Environmental authorization will not be required. So they did not obtain because it wasn't necessary.
Yes.
Just a small correction. I think it's important for minute purposes.
Okay, that is fine. Donald, you got it as such? Marius? Marius Mulich?
Yes, I've got it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm going to hand over again to, I'm going to take the screen up to page 105 that has been requested by Town Planning, so that the members of the tribunal can, and the officials and the public can see which piece of land it is. Okay, Donald?
All right, and another point that stood out was the point of the municipalities purposing to sell the land for much less than its fair market value. So
this is the piece. This is the piece here.
That is the piece in question, yeah, the 137 squares. So
okay.
What the applicant did, there was 3 valuations were obtained, and it ranged between plus minus 111,000 and 150,000. So what council also did on the 29th of October, I am just looking at those documents just to give you a specific indication. All right, council approved the alienation of that land on the 29th of October 2019, and it was decided upon from council side, and that it would be obtained by the owner of 305, and which is also the applicant now, for roughly about 300,000. So that, I think that justifies that point.
Okay, so there was fair market valuation on the land.
There was fair market valuation, yeah.
I'm going to ask you before I'm going to take you back through the application and the objections, and you can take us through the remainder. But I just, for the purpose of the panel, I just want to show how 305 looks, and the other portion that is in question, which is this section here, this 137 square meters. Can you just tell me, here is a physical road. Can you see the pointer on the screen? There is a physical road here. It says physical road. So is that a promulgated road? Can you just tell me, is it a tarred road that is there?
No, it's not a tarred road, sir.
Not a tarred road?
As I said, nothing has been formalized there.
So here is nothing. So there's a physical, I think this is a gravel path.
That's a gravel throughway, yeah.
There's a gravel throughway, and then there was on the layout, if I look at the layout next to the urban, here is also no physical tarred road.
No.
That is known as Punt Street. So there is no physical, there is a road, but it is not promulgated, or it has not been formalized as a road. Yes. So there is no road there. I just wanted to make that point clear. Do you want to take us through the rest of the application? I'm going to take you back up. Just give me an indication which page you want me to take you back to. 105, sir. No, I was on 105. The objections from here, from the top section?
Yeah, those objections were fairly conformative, and those that stood out that I thought, in Town Planning Department, that was of important just to share with the panel, yeah.
Okay, so all objections were dealt with and responded to accordingly.
Accordingly.
Okay, no, that's fine. You want to take us through the rest quickly?
Summary of objections from municipal departments and also the external government institutions. It's also fairly straightforward. There were no objections, seeing that the most important one was, as Mr. Kotze also brought up now, it was from the EIA side, and no EIA authorization was necessary.
Okay.
So I think that was like one of the most important points that we had to work around, you see.
And the traffic, considering that it is perceived as a road?
Yeah, no objections. No objections from traffic, yeah, and also from provincial traffic department, no objections were received. Yeah.
Okay. Electrical
also,
upgrade.
Yeah, the as far as Spluma, it also conforms all the principles.
Okay.
And then I'll take you to point 7.
Okay, I just noted something here. Volgens die planne is daar 'n waterlyn wat geskuif sal moet word wat vir die eienaar se rekening sal wees.
Yeah.
That is also comment from the water department.
Yes, and also, Mr. Chair, that point that you brought up now, that will be included in the conditions of approval. That has to be adhered to, yeah.
Correct. Okay. Motivation, the desirability of the application.
And then also,
I'm scrolling down to the management recommendation.
Just
it's a very lengthy application, this one.
Yes, we had to do a thorough application and a report for this one, sir.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to read the recommendation quickly. Donald, if you can just put your mic off, you can put it on again when required. It is recommended that the point number 7, it is recommended that the following application made in terms of section 15 of the Cape Agulhas Municipality Land Use Planning. I'm going to quickly ask, before I read the recommendation, I'm going to ask the colleagues, the panel members, if there are any questions, or do you want me to read the recommendation and then maybe I will read the recommendation. I see there is a hand that goes up. The hand is from Francois. Francois, I will quickly read the management recommendation and then I will take your comment, Francois. Thank you. Okay, so it is recommended that the following application made in terms of section 15 of the Cape Agulhas Municipal Land Use Planning Bylaw 2015 be approved. A, rezoning in terms of section 15 of the Cape Agulhas Bylaw and Municipal Land Use Planning to portion A to single residential zone purposes. That's on the rezoning side. Subdivision of a portion of Punt Street in terms of section 15 of the Cape Agulhas Bylaw and Municipal Land Use Planning to create portion A plus minus 137 square meters and the remainder. Consolidation of portion A with earth 305 Agulhas to create plus minus 851 square meter earth in terms of section 15 of the Cape Agulhas Bylaw and Municipal Land Use Planning. Closure of public place or part thereof, that's the closure. In terms of section 15, notably that it's not a formal road, and it has never been utilized as a formal road. And the reasons for the recommendation, the reasons for the above decision are as follows. The subject area is not utilized by the public as a street, as mentioned earlier. The strips of land towards the east and south that are proposed for consolidation are only 60 centimeters wide, as indicated on the site plan for the application. No negative impacts on surrounding properties. Earth 305 Agulhas is bordered on 3 sides by the road that has not been formalized. Due to this fact and the unusual shape of the current earth, it results in very restrictive building parameters. With the location of the earth, it is sensible to develop the earth in the most optimal way within developmental laws. There is an economic benefit towards the Cape Agulhas municipality in selling the portion of land. Council has approved the alienation of the portion of the land. And then there are conditions of approval, which are the standard ones I've read earlier as well. Building division, general services, we've mentioned stormwater onto the site and is to be handled by the applicant owner. Increasing of the water supply is for the applicant owner's account. And then it was also the one that we've mentioned that if there is a water line, the water line should be moved at the owner's account. I'm going to, at this point in time, I'm going to acknowledge Francois. I'm going to ask Francois. Francois had his hand up earlier. Francois, Mike, please. I see Jeremy Benjamin also. I will acknowledge Jeremy. Jeremy will take your comment now first, Francois. Thank you, Francois.
Thank you, Chair. Again, for clarity, I just want to make sure I'm referring you back to page 116 at the top. Again, the letter from the Department of Environmental Affairs and Development Planning. Just want to ensure that the informal detour, that Jeep tract,
yes,
passing in front of that proposed extension of that development will remain and provide coastal access to the general public. And will not be part of the closure process. The closure process, as I understand it, is only the formalized street as we discussed. That's my first question. And then secondly, may I continue?
Just 1 second quickly. I just want to get some context. Where on 116 are we, Francois?
Page 116 at the top in the bundle. That's the letter from the provincial department. It states
which
that,
is this one?
Yes, please be advised that the proposed development and construction and operation related activity should never obstruct nor restrict public access to the coast at all times.
Okay.
So that is the first point. Then secondly, I just want to make sure, how will access to the properties be allowed if the formal road is now closed? Are there alternatives to those properties to be accessed, or will they make use of the informal access that is detouring that portion? And then thirdly, sorry, Chair, may I continue?
Continue.
Will this create any precedent going forward? And that is a question to the town planners, maybe. I'm sure they did evaluate that.
Okay, I'm going to move quickly to page 105, which had a very clear view early on, that one there. Just to, so I'm going to ask from as regards to the road, and that's why I asked the question, is there a physical road, a tarred road that is going through here? And the answer was no. This is neither a tarred road here, which I've asked Donald, and I just want you to come in here quickly. Can you give us an indication, how does Earth 305 get access to their premises? I need you. Yeah, there we go.
Thank you, Chair, Mr. Kotza. They will get access via the informal road that is there physically. So no obstruction will occur with regards to the other residents surrounding Earth 305. And because that portion in front is only in question, we will conform to the conditions of approval that it's site specifically, and that no obstruction regards to the other residential properties will be inferred negatively, sir.
So this, when this is granted, the subdivision and alienation is granted, it doesn't negatively adversely impact Earth 304 and Earth 303 with regards to access. I don't have a physical drawing to see where the driveway is. Can we, Abram or Donald, do you have any indication of where these 304 and 303 enter, and 302, 301 enter the properties? Is it from this informal road?
Can I share my screen quickly? I have the satellite image here.
Okay.
And is it showing now?
There we go.
What screen is showing now?
I can see the satellite image. I can see the satellite image, yeah.
Okay. So as you can see, where the informal road is outside of those boundaries, even if the boundaries are indicated. So yeah, this gives you just a clear idea of how movement can be in that area. So yeah.
Can you just give me an indication where 334, where that 304, where does 304 is? Where is there no physical road for their driveways to go into there?
No, they all just cross over the grass as it is now.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I want maybe Abram Turon, maybe if you can, from the town planning side, the question is, when we alienate land, is there any precedent that is set? I mean, the municipality alienates lots of land, and it's a transparent process. Is there any precedent, to answer Francois' question, when this piece of land is disposed of, this 137 square meters?
No, not that I can think of. I mean, yeah, everything is evaluated as per requirement. So, yeah.
It's municipal land, and it's there is no future use for the municipal land, and it conforms with the IDP, etc. So it is in line with all of the considerations for alienation.
Yeah.
Francois, I'm going to ask you, does that, okay, can you put your mic off first? Abram, Francois, does that answer your question, Francois, about access to the premises and also the precedent?
Chair, yes, thank you very much for that response. As long as the informal access remains and doesn't restrict any future coastal access. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Francois, for your input there. I'm going to ask the panel, is there any other considerations or comments or questions before we proceed to move on this recommendation? Everybody in order? Jeremy, I see your hand is up.
Just quickly, two things. One is I think it's page 57, where we, just for clarity, Abram or Donald, maybe this question is for one of you guys. They talk about the closure of a public place, and I'm not familiar with your bylaw, your zoning scheme, but should it not read closure of public street, or is that the terminology? But that is just something you can look at. And then the second thing is then the objection relates to the objection of the person said, you know, the land wasn't acquired and the correct procedure was followed by council. But I assume this was a request from the applicant. The owner requested, he wrote a letter to the municipality to purchase this portion of land because, you know, it's only abutting his property. So therefore, he probably, you know, the request came from him. It wasn't out on public tender for other people to tender for it. So it was a request. You assessed it. You evaluated it, and you determined that there's no use for the 137 square meters. It doesn't influence should the informal road be built. I assume it's a proclaimed road. Abram, you also showed that where the new boundary for the formal road will run. So it won't influence. One day, if the council should decide to build the formal road, that won't influence any of the future planning of the road.
Okay, Abram, over to you, Abram. You have to put your mic on.
Yeah, so I think because there's nothing else that gets affected by the expansion of that property, that there will be no anything that would be problematic when they formalize that road. Yeah.
Just to clarify on Jeremy's point, the first part he said, what page was that, Jeremy, that we spoke about the closure of the public space, as opposed to, should the semantics not read a public closure of the public road or closure of a portion of the public road? I think that is, can we amend that? Can we move to the recommendation part? I'm going to ask you quickly to put on your mic, Donald. Can you just tell me which page was that again? I think it was fairly high up, the management recommendation.
Yes, sir. I think it was on page 69.
69, I'm scrolling to it.
So we can just amend that for the close of public place, and then it should read a public street.
Portion. It's not the full Punt street that will be closed. It will be a portion of.
Yeah.
Where is it? Closure of a public place or part thereof in terms. Okay, so it is stipulated that, or part thereof in terms of section 15 of the Cape Agulhas bylaw on municipal. Jeremy, there it is. Point D. It speaks about closure of public place or part thereof. I think it is considered as a public place or a public street. Okay, but it will be a part thereof. Just for clarification, if we go to the layout again, which is page 105, it is only a small section that will be the section that is affected, the 137 square meters that is affected, that will be closed off, not the rest of Punt Street. Can we confirm that, Donald or Abram?
You are correct, sir.
Correct.
Okay, I'm going to, so point number 7, the recommendation is, it is recommended that the following application made in terms of section 15 of the bylaw, Cape Agulhas Municipal Land Use Planning Bylaw, be approved. And the reasons was as discussed. I've gone through the reasons, and the conditions of approval is stipulated, and it specifically said that there is a water line that is running in front of the property that needs to be moved at the owner's account. Can I get Francois, you have another question, Francois, or comment?
No, not another question, just again for clarity. So it's only the portion as delineated on page 100.
Can
so
we just
the rest of Punt Street will remain, the alignment will remain, but just that portion will be alienated.
I'm just going to page 100 just to get clarity quickly of your question. Are you with us, Donald, on the subsection of Punt Street? Can you just confirm that it is only that section?
It is only that portion, yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay, Francois, does that answer your question? Only that specific, not the entire Punt Street. I think I've also asked that question.
Thank
Francois.
you.
Thank pleasure. Can I? Francois, can you just put your hand down quickly? I see your mic is off. Then I'm going to ask for a motion for the management recommendation on page 65. Is it this one here? Let me just see quickly. So when I get to the recommendation again. Okay, there is the recommendation. I'm going to ask, does the Municipal Planning Tribunal, the management recommendation is that it be approved? Jeremy, do you accept that, Jeremy? I see your hand is up.
Yes, I accept that.
Okay, you accept the management recommendation. Can I have somebody to second that, please, for the purpose of records? The members of the tribunal? Francois Kotze. Okay, Marius, can you please note that as accordingly? Okay, we're going to have to move on to the next item. We will move on to the next item. I'll introduce the next item, the following item, which is 4.3. I just need to get to the item quickly. It's quite a thick pack of 164 pages. Okay, I think we can you just give me a number quickly there, Donald?
Mr. Chair, it's on page 124.
Okay, there we go. There we go, 124. Shall I share my, I'm going to share my screen again so that the members can also see my screen is shared. Okay, I'm moving on to point 4.3 of the agenda. It is for the application for rezoning, subdivision and departure of 513 Napier. I'm going to ask Donald again just to get me the pictographic to say, tell me on which page it is as I'm scrolling through the agenda on my computer so that I can move to that point that gives us an aerial layout of 513. The evaluation of the above mentioned application in terms of the Cape Agulhas bylaw on municipal land use planning 2015. It's in a motivation and application form to council. Locality plan is Annex B, Annex C subdivision plan. And the registered owner is the Hebziba Assembly Church. The applicant is Town and Country, Creative Land Solutions, Town Planning, Independent Town Planning Company. And then the property is undetermined zone. And the locality is in West Street, Napier. That seems like a very big number, 658.079 hectare. Is that correct, Donald?
Yes, sir. And you can find the image on page 164. Okay,
I will remember that, 164. I will go there now. And it is, the application consists of the following: a rezoning of proposed portion A in terms of section 15 of the Cape Agulhas bylaw on municipal land use planning 2015 from undetermined to civic and social zone in order to use the site for church purposes. And then subdivision of remainder of 513 Napier in terms of section 15 of the Cape Agulhas bylaw on municipal land use planning into portion A, which is 1689 square meters. And the remainder is 658. Just for clarity, that 658 belongs to the municipality, Donald?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, departure on proposed portion A in terms of section 15 of the Cape Agulhas bylaw. So there is a request for rezoning, subdivision, and a departure in portion A. The portion A in question is plus minus 1,689 square meters for the purpose of church, undetermined to church, civic and social, from the 10 meter street building line. And I can almost see Jeremy's going to say again, you're asking for a departure of 10 meter to 4 meters and from the 4.5 meter side and rear building lines to 2 meters. So a church 1,689 square meters are also asking for a departure. You said the page number for the view, Donald?
164, Chair.
164. I'm moving to the, just for the purpose of the panel members, I'm moving to 164. I'll come back up to 120 to see the application. 164. Donald, can you just confirm? Can you still see my screen?
I can still see your screen.
Okay, so there, take us through the earth. This is the whole municipal earth here, and this is the section that is requested. Take us through the picture.
All right. So as you said, Mr. Chair, Hepzibah Assembly Church approached council for a portion of land for church purposes. Just for knowledge to the general public and to the panel, Earth 513 is municipal land. That's hence the large size of the property, 658 hectares. So the subdivided portion that is being requested for and it's being applied for is about 1,689 square meters, and that's for church purposes.
Okay.
So they also asked for a departure on that newly created portion, if being approved, from the 10 meter street building line to 4 meters and from the 4.5 side meter building line and to 2 meters. Okay. So as I said, it's a fairly big earth once also subdivided. So I think also the congregation or the institution, church institution, ask for that departure from the building lines because maybe they have a specific model or design in mind.
Okay.
We won't know, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so for the public participation process, it was advertised for public participation and comments on the 13th of September 2019. Okay. It was also circulated to the external organizations, government institutions, and also internally within the Cape Agulhas municipality for general comments in the various departments. It was also circulated to the surrounding property owners that is surrounding the earth. And as I said, no objections were received during the public participation process. If we go through the page on the screen, notably no objections or comments from the various departments. Everything seems to be in order. And also no EIA authorization is needed. Traffic is not also included negatively. And also, let's just see there. Also the streets and stormwater, regarding that 6.7.4, that the owner, once the property is transferred to the organization, they will be responsible for the stormwater drainage of a property.
Okay.
If we go to the motivation as municipal planning evaluation, it is also within the urban edge of Napier. And it also conforms to all the principles within Spluma and also Lupa.
Okay. I just want to make a comment that we have a very active residents association, and they would have most probably seen the application, and it's quite interesting to see that there's no comment from no objection for the rezoning from undetermined to civic and social for the use of the site of the church purposes. Okay.
I think also what makes the application desirable, it's within the location, because within our current Cape Agulhas municipal SDF or our spatial framework, that area of 513, that specific commonage of the municipal, is earmarked for a residential development. Okay. So yeah, so it will conform the surrounding usages will be then of a residential nature, and then with the precedence in all our communities, a church is normally situated within our residential areas for quick access.
Okay.
So I don't see any problem with that.
Okay,
so as I said, it conforms to all the principles, all the 5 principles of SPLUMA, which is spatial justice, sustainability, efficiency, resilience, and administration.
Okay.
I can take you to the summary of the evaluation.
Yeah, which I've got on screen.
Yeah, it is in line with all the policies and plans for the town, and it also provides an infill area. And also we as municipal organization and also the Western Cape Spatial Framework also promotes the densification of urban areas, where we utilize the land optimally. So yeah, and then there's a recommendation which I will be giving it back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. In view of the above, it is recommended that the following application made in terms of Section 15 of the Cape Agulhas Municipal Land Use. I just want to double check if my mic is on. My mic is on. The following application made in terms of Section 15 of the Cape Agulhas Municipal Land Use Planning Bylaw 2015 be approved. Rezoning of proposed portion A in terms of Section 15 of the Cape Agulhas Bylaw on Municipal Land Use Planning from undetermined to civic and social in order to use the site for church purposes. And then subdivision of remainder of 513 Napier in terms of Section 15 of the Cape Agulhas Bylaw on Municipal Land Use Planning 2015 into portion A, which is plus minus 1,689 square meters, and remainder of plus minus 658.079 hectare. And then the departure is also approved on proposed portion A in terms of Section 15 of the Cape Agulhas Bylaw on Municipal Land Use Planning 2015 from the 10-meter street building line to 4 meters, from the 4.5 meter side and rear building lines to 2 meters, most probably for optimal usage of the land. Reasons for recommendation. The reasons for the recommendations are stipulated here, 10.1 through to 10.7. Can I get a motion for this item, please? I'm going to go into my screen. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can see the hands on the right-hand side. Can we get a first motion and a second of it? Jeremy, do you have any questions, or you can I get an indication from you?
Mr. Chair, I think you actually mentioned what I'm going to ask already. Yes, just for my own clarity again, Donald. Again, there's so much ample space but maybe it's a question also, I think, affordability, because for every square meter, the price increase. So, it's much cheaper to purchase 1,700 from the municipality than purchase 2,000 square meters would probably cost more. So maybe it's a case of affordability, and then maybe when they approach you or your corporate services, whoever deals with your sale of municipal land, they say this is what we have. What can we buy with this maybe, and obviously there was a calculation that determined the figure, and there was obviously a budget to that. Because again, for me, I mean, you can have a property any size. There's no prescribed size for any church property. But when I read the report yesterday, I thought 1689, why just make it 2,000 square meters and then get away with the departures? But then again, Mr. Chair, it's probably a case of affordability as well. Looking also in like you said, the remainder is earmarked for residential housing, our future roads going past that church and stuff like this. But I'm happy. Thank you.
Okay, that's a comment. Just basically a comment from Jeremy. Jeremy, thank you. Francois, you have to put your mic on. Thank you.
Chair, just one last question from my side. I think the adjacent property is currently a cemetery, if I'm not mistaken.
Can you just confirm that for us, Donald?
And that might also limit the size of that property.
I agree with Mr. Kotia. It's part in cemetery, so that also played a factor in the size of the property.
Okay. Thank you. Can I have a motion to accept this management recommendation from the Municipal Planning Tribunal members? Francois Kotze. Can I have a seconder for that? Indra Kroon. Thank you, Mr. Director. Much appreciated. If there are no further questions, I'm about to adjourn this meeting and conclude this meeting. Is there any questions from the panel before I adjourn? Everybody can just put their mics off and just concur that we are closing. Thank you, Francois.
Thank you. Yes, nothing from my side.
Jeremy, from your side?
Yes, nothing from my side. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Pleasure. Indra, from your side?
I'm okay, Chair. Thank
Good. Thank you very much. Tracy?
No, all good, thanks.
Okay. Thank you to the officials that are present and also to the public that is viewing. We trust that you've witnessed the diligence of the municipality to ensure that we prepare well for these municipal planning tribunal decisions. It is not easy decisions to make. We just follow the due process. We ensure that we take into consideration all factors, engineering factors, social factors, as indicated in the beginning of this municipal planning tribunal. And I trust you've extracted value out of our internal processes. And you're more than welcome after the lockdown to join us again at our municipal planning tribunal. Thank you to all the members and all the officials, and thank you to the general public as well. Thank you.